A luxury restaurant filled with celebration. One chair was missing. You are watching Echoes of Family. Let's go back to that evening.
My name is Wanda. Rebecca, my sister, sent the invitation on thick cream paper, gold lettering. Her baby shower at El Meander, downtown Portland. I arrived on time anyway. Rain on my heels, a gift in my hands, a careful dress I bought just to belong. Inside, crystal chandeliers threw light over perfect smiles. Name cards sat like little crowns on each plate. I walked the tables once, then twice. 25 settings. Not one, said Wanda. Rebecca slid beside me, sweet-faced. Capacity limits, she whispered. Mom appeared, smiling sharp. Maybe you'd be happier somewhere less formal. Rebecca pointed through the window. Try that dirty pub across the street. Mom laughed. It suits you perfectly. I smiled back. I'll do that. They thought I'd disappear across the street. They were wrong. Before we go on, where are you watching from today? A quiet kitchen, a parked car, or a room you finally control? Echoes of Life is here with you while we turn the next page. Growing up, Rebecca was always the easy one to love. The golden child. The one Mom dressed in ribbons and praise. Rebecca, my sister, married Travis Montgomery after college. His family owns half the commercial real estate here. They live in the West Hills with 2 kids. A white Range Rover. Designer everything. A life built on photo angles and soft lighting. Her showers become society events. Caterers, florists, gift registries with price tags. Mom calls it standards. She says my bookstore is a hobby. A phase I'll outgrow. I learned to nod, then return to work. I took a different road. After Portland State, I opened a bookstore. Chapter Inverse in the Alberta Arts District. Exposed brick, old hardwood, rare books and first editions. The margins were thin, but the work felt honest. I knew customers by name and taste. I knew the smell of paper and dust. I loved it anyway. My apartment sits above the shop. Secondhand furniture. Bookshelves that bow under weight. I call it home. Mom never forgave my choice. She called it a shopkeeper's life. She reminded me about Gregory Ashford, the investment banker who chased me in college. Like love was a merger I refused. Dad understood me. Thomas kept my pride safe. He died 6 years ago, and the house got colder after that. So when Rebecca's invitation arrived, I still hoped. Maybe a seat. Maybe a smile that didn't cut. I didn't know the invitation was just a polite way to erase me. The morning of the shower brought Oregon drizzle. I dressed like I was pleading a case. Navy wrap dress, pearl earrings, makeup I rarely wear. I carried my gift with both hands. A hand-embroidered baby blanket, made by a local artist I trust. El Meander sat downtown in glass and marble. Crystal chandeliers glittered above white linens. Servers glided past, quiet and sure. The valet took my old Honda Civic. He smiled without warmth. Inside, the private room hummed with perfume and laughter. Pink and gold balloons framed the gift table. Rebecca stood in the center, glowing and effortless. Silk maternity dress. Professional makeup. Mom found me first. Tight smile. You're late, she said. I wasn't. I let it go. I offered the gift bag. Mom glanced at the plain paper. Put it somewhere, she said. Rebecca turned and scanned me. Oh, you came, she said. How sweet. I congratulated her. I listened to baby names and bragging. Then I looked for my seat. Name cards sat on every plate. Calligraphy curls. I walked the tables once, then twice. 25 settings, 25 names. None of them were mine. Heat crept up my neck. I could feel eyes tracking me. Polite curiosity, like I was entertainment. I checked the head table. Mom beside Rebecca's mother-in-law. No spare chair, no empty spot. My throat tightened. That old shame. Did I miss something? Rebecca appeared at my elbow. Soft voice. Sharp eyes. Is something wrong, Wanda? I can't find my seat, I said. Quiet, careful. She sighed like I was difficult. Oh, she said. Capacity restrictions. We finalized the list weeks ago. You understand. Mom slid closer, sensing a scene. These rooms are limited, she said. Maybe you'd be happier somewhere less formal. Rebecca's eyes brightened. O'Sullivan's pub is across the street, she said. Why don't you try that dirty pub? Mom laughed, quick and cutting. It suits you perfectly. A few women smirked into their glasses. Rebecca waited for tears, for anger, for a show. I felt the instinct to explain, to beg for space, to earn it. Then something in me settled. Clarity. I smiled. Okay, I said. I'll do that. Rebecca blinked, thrown off. Mom's smile faltered. I didn't reach for my gift. I didn't argue. I turned and walked out. My heels clicked on marble, then on wet pavement. The street smelled like rain and exhaust. I crossed to the pub without looking back. In their world, I was a problem. In mine, I stopped asking. Before we continue, what would you do in that moment? Comment 1 if you'd swallow it and keep the peace. Comment 2 if you'd walk out and protect your dignity. If you'd choose a third path, I want to hear it. Rain tapped the pub windows in steady beats. O'Sullivan's smelled like grilled onions and old wood. Dim lamps. Brass rails. A muted game on a small TV. I shook water from my hair. My mascara threatened to run. Then I saw him in a corner booth. Paperwork spread out. A pen moving fast. James O'Sullivan looked up and stood. Well, he said. If it isn't the book dealer. James, I said. I didn't know this was your place. It's my pub, he replied. Family owned, 70 years. Across the street, Elmeander glowed through the rain. My sister's shower kept going without me. Crystal light. Soft laughter I couldn't hear. James followed my gaze. What happened? He asked. Not curious. Concerned. I kept it plain. No seat, I said. Rebecca sent me here. Mom said it suits me. Dirty pub. His jaw tightened. Dirty, he repeated. They picked the wrong word. You okay? He asked. I'm tired, I said. Tired of being treated like a mistake. I built my shop from nothing. To them, I'm still less. He studied my face. Do you trust me? I should have said no, but I was done begging for space. I nodded once. Okay, I said. I trust you. James pulled out his phone. Calls, quick and quiet. Private room, he said. Full service. Today. He glanced at me. Size 6? I nodded again. Bridget, he said into the phone. Now. Bring something sharp. And waterproof makeup. I swallowed. James, what are you doing? I'm giving you a seat, he said. One they can't ignore. Bridget arrived in 20 minutes. James's younger sister. A Nordstrom buyer who runs charity events on weekends. Garment bag. Shoebox. Hands already moving. She looked me over once. Bathroom, she said. Now. The hallway bathroom was spotless. Bright mirror. Clean towels. She pinned my hair. Fixed my eyes. Swapped my damp dress for midnight blue. Simple. Sharp. Still me. When I stepped out, a paneled door stood open. A private dining room hidden in plain sight. Exposed brick. High beams. Linen and crystal. One empty chair waiting. The windows faced Elmeander perfectly. I saw heads turn across the street. Then a black town car pulled up. Margaret Reynolds stepped out in a beige trench coat. Reynolds Books, the name my mother loved to drop. She walked into O'Sullivan's like she owned the air. Right behind her, a Portland monthly writer raised a camera. The flash popped once. Across the street, silhouettes froze at the glass. Rebecca leaned forward. My mother's hands lifted, confused. James pulled out my chair. I sat down, steady. My chest loosened for the first time all day. Across the street, their joke finally turned into a headline. Across the street, they finally saw what they tried to shrink. I didn't look back at Elmeander. I watched rain slide down the glass. James set a folder beside my plate. No speeches, he said. Just facts. He slid me a pen. For names and numbers. Linen lay crisp under my fingers. Crystal clinked as a server poured water, quiet as a promise. The room smelled like warm bread. The first guest arrived fast. Margaret Reynolds. Reynolds Books. She shook my hand like it mattered. I want your authentication system, she said. 20 hours a month. Contracted. Your rate. Next came David Chen, chef owner. 3 restaurants. I want a coffee bar near your shop, he said. Your books. My espresso. Revenue split. We'll draft terms. A Portland monthly writer sat nearby, quietly taking notes. Then Patricia Aldridge walked in. a collector with a librarian's eyes. I'm building a private library, she said. I need a curator. 3-year retainer. She named a number that steadied my breathing. My phone buzzed again and again. Rebecca, then Mom. Who is that? Call me, now. I turned the screen down. James didn't comment. He just refilled my water. Outside, silhouettes packed Elmeander's windows. My family watching the pub like a warning sign. Then the front door banged open. Voices rose in the main room, high and familiar. James stood before I could. He walked out, calm as a lock. He returned a minute later. They want to see you, he said. Do you want that? I breathed in, then out. No, I said, not like this. James nodded and went back out. I heard him, polite and firm. This is a private event. She's not available. You can leave a message. Rebecca's voice snapped. That's my sister. I have a right, James answered evenly. Rights are legal. Access is earned. You told her to eat here. You called this place dirty. Mom's voice shook. We didn't mean it. James didn't raise his. Then say what you meant. Without an audience. No one in the room stared, no whispers, just quiet respect. I stood and walked to the doorway. Not fast, not angry. Rebecca's eyes found mine. Perfect dress. Rage behind the smile. You embarrassed me, she said. I kept my voice low. You left me without a seat, I said. You laughed. That's what embarrassed you. Not me. Mom tried to step forward. I lifted a hand. If you want to talk, I said. Call me tomorrow. Private. Honest. No jokes. Then I stepped back inside. James closed the door. I returned to my chair, steady. 3 business cards sat beside my plate. Patricia lifted her glass. To women who stopped begging, she said. They didn't lose a party that day. They lost the version of me who stayed. The next morning, Portland looked rinsed and quiet. Rainwater ran along the curb like silver thread. I unlocked chapter inverse and breathed in paper and dust. The bell over my door chimed once. My phone had 37 missed calls. Rebecca. Mom. 2 unknown numbers. I listened to one voicemail and stopped. Mom's voice was careful, almost polite. We need to talk, she said. No apology. No ownership. Just urgency. I opened my notebook and wrote 3 lines. Private. Honest. No audience. Then I did what I always do. I worked. I cataloged a first edition with gloved hands. I answered a question about provenance. I made coffee and watched the steam rise. By noon, emails arrived from yesterday's table. A consulting contract. A partnership draft. A curator retainer with terms and dates. Proof doesn't argue. It sits there and holds. James came by with 2 coffees. No pressure, no speeches, just a warm cup and steady eyes. You okay? He asked. I surprised myself with the answer. I am, I said. Not fixed, just clear. I didn't call my family back that day. I wasn't punishing them. I was practicing a new rule. If they wanted access, they'd meet me properly. Not in a dining room window. Not with jokes and smirks. Not with my name erased. That night, I walked upstairs to my apartment. Books lined the walls like quiet witnesses. The city hummed below, distant and harmless. I wasn't the family disappointment. I was the one who built a life that survived them. Respect isn't something they hand you. It's something you keep. If any part of this felt familiar, you're not alone. Like, share, and subscribe to Echoes of Life. More stories are coming. Quiet strength, clean truth, real boundaries.